The third piece that students of Nrityakala Kendra are going to be presenting for us today is a Tilana. A Tilana is a piece that's literally a study of movement. As we know in Bharatanatyam, we have very soft, subtle movements that are only, for example, of our eyes, to those that are movements of our eyes and the neck, to really big sweeping movements. And we'll see a variety of movements in this Tilana. There's going to be a lot of poses as well, and this is an occasion for us to think of how the brain, first of all, how the brain perceives the difference between movement and stillness as an audience or as a spectator, as well as how the brain makes movement and stillness possible. There's a new branch, or maybe a not so new branch of neuroscience, which is called neuroaesthetics. And neuroaesthetics is really a field that aims to think about why we find certain works of art, whether it's visual art, performance art, arts of all kind, why we find it beautiful, and really what is happening in the brain that leads to this perception of beauty. We mentioned different kinds of movements in Tilana and in dance in general, and it is interesting to think about how the brain creates movement. While it is a topic of great discussion and study amongst the scientific community, we do know that a part of the brain called the motor cortex is responsible for movement. The cortex is the outermost layer of our brains, and the motor cortex, as the name suggests, is something that is critical for movement. There are parts of the brain, again, speaking to the specificity of different parts of the brain, there are parts of the motor cortex too that are responsible for initiation of movement, for planning of movement, as well as terminating the movement. So something that might appear so simple to us, for example, even picking up a glass of water. A movement as simple as that has a lot of things that are happening in the brain to make that movement possible. This Tilana is in the ragam or melody Behag, is in the talam Adi. It has been composed, the words and the dance has been composed by our guru Srimati Maheshwari Nagarajan, and this is an ode to Sadguru Gyanananda, who is again the beacon of light and knowledge.